Welcome to the newsroom on CNN Philippines. In the news, police are investigating the killing of 9 farm workers in a plantation in Negros Occidental. Among the victims are 4 women and 2 minors. Amid surging inflation, a labor group seeks a 334 peso wage hike for Metro Manila workers. And Lea Salonga wraps up her 40th year in the industry with back-to-back sold-out concerts. Good evening, I'm Maya Rodriguez. Thanks for joining us. Our top story, a quiet evening turned bloody in a hacienda in Negros Occidental. Armed men opened fire at a group of sugar workers, killing 9. Our Paulo Barcelon has more.
9 farm workers, including 4 women and 2 minors, were killed after being gunned down by unidentified armed men in Sagay City, Negros Occidental, Saturday night. All 9 victims were identified by police as members of the National Federation of Sugar Workers, or NFSW, who were reported to be occupying a portion of Hacienda Nene after its owners have finished their sugarcane harvest for the day. NFSW Regional Vice Chairperson Aldrin Alokina says the farmers were beneficiaries of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, or CARP. The group says the victims were killed after participating in what they call a bungkalan activity, where they cultivate idle lands to make them productive. Police found several bullet cases at the crime scene, including those coming from a rifle-caliber firearm. Police Regional Office 6 Head Chief Superintendent John Bulalakaw says the Sagay Police Station and the Special Action Force have launched an operation against the suspects. Farmer groups across the country have condemned the incident. The Kilusang Magbubukid ng Pilipinas claims that the incident is an addition to the growing list of reported peasant killings in Negros, while the National Federation of Peasant Women called the killings as a warlordist attack. Paulo Barcelon, CNN Philippines.
Negros Occidental Governor Alfredo Marañon Jr. tells CNN Philippines there will be a 500,000 peso reward to anyone who can give information leading to the arrest of the gunman. We now speak to Sagay City Acting Chief of Police, Robert Mansueto. Good evening, sir. Thanks for taking our call.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Sir, nasaan na po ba tayo sa investigasyon? Ano po yung update doon sa efforts to identify at sa pagtugis ng mga suspects?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, no, katatapos lang ng SOCONA team na nag-inventory at saka ng-process ng ibang ebidensya na na-recover natin, no, sa crime scene doon. At actually, tinatapos rin natin yung mga statement, no? Yung nakasurvive, yung 3 nakasurvive, at saka ibang testimony mismo ng mga nearby residents na nandoon sa area nung gabi mismo.
Sir, yung mga survivors, sinabi mo 3, ano po ang kwento nila?
Actually, according sa survivors, no, sila mismo nakita nila yung description ng tao. Actually, pinalaliman natin to. May 2 minors din tayong na-interview doon na doon mismo nakakita rin. So, nagmamatch, no? Anyway, may lead na tayo. Nagmamatch mismo sa yung hinahanap natin na mga suspect na to, yung person with interest na ganito. Actually, mga farmer workers din sa Sindanini.
Sino
Hello?
po former farm workers ng Hacienda Nene? Mga ilan po itong mga persons of interest or mga suspects na pinaghahanap po, sir?
Actually, ma'am, na-reveal lang nito nung nalaman natin, no? Na-trigger kasi ng yung conflict, na-trigger yung conflict nito nung yung former farmer workers ng Hacienda Nene. Actually, binigyan sila pala ng yung deed of donation, no? Yung may-ari ng lupa. At saka dito, nung pumasok yung NFSW, actually, hawak-hawak sa ngayon ng NFSW, still binabalidate natin sa DAR, only notice of coverage, no? Wala pang papel, no, CLOA lang naman na binigay na in-install yung mga beneficiaries dito. So, para wala pang confirmation galing sa DAR natin na natanggap na itong mga biktima natin na kasama sa beneficiaries sa lupa na yan.
So hindi pa po confirmed ito? Yung kiniklaim po ng National Federation of Sugar Workers, hindi pa po final po yon? Hindi pa confirmed na beneficiaries nga sila ng CARP?
Actually, malalaman natin bukas to, ma'am, no? Sa DAR office. Pina-ano na natin to. Initially, nagkuha na tayo ng coordination doon na ma-trace at saka malaman yung status ng lupa. So far, wala tayong natanggap. Initially, wala tayong natanggap na member ito or beneficiary ito ng DAR doon sa area. So para yung hawak-hawak lang nila na sinabi sa atin is only the notice of coverage from DAR, which is not hindi pa natin pwedeng masabi, no, na sila
okay,
dapat mag-actual na.
So habang inaalam niyo po ang punot dulo ng land dispute na ito, sino po ba ang may-ari ng Hacienda Nene? Nakausap niyo na po ba sila? May statement na po ba sila? Any word from the landowner?
Yes, ma'am. Nagkakaroon tayo ng case conference dito kasama yung provincial director natin dito sa Negros Occidental. Yung anak mismo ni Mrs. Carmen Tolentino, si Attorney Babos Tolentino. Anyway, willing sila, no, mag-submit ng anumang kailangan sa investigation natin dito ongoing sa PNP, sa Sagay PNP. At doon, ma'am, kanina rin natin nakukuha, hinahanap pa rin natin yung mga listings nila. Kasi doon kami nagtatrack ng mga persons with interest natin for matching ng identity.
Sir, ano po ang sitwasyon ngayon ng mga farmers at yung sinasabi mong mga survivors po?
Actually, ma'am, ang nangyari kasi initially nahirapan tayo, no, sa pag-identify nito kasi hindi sila yung actual na resident ng Purok Fire 3. So, yung sa atin na biktima na to, dalawa rito ay hindi from ibang barangay. Barangay na Plaridel, may isang barangay na Pail Barrera, at hindi yung actual na residents mismo ng Purok Fire 3, yung barangay Bulanon sa Sagay City.
Taga-ibang barangay po?
Ibang barangay. Kaya dito nagka-create ng tension. So, in-expect siguro ng may mga naunang yung mga naunang farm workers, no? In-expect nila baka siguro kukunin.
Pero may witnesses po kayo. May talagang nakakita po ng nangyari po dyan. Ang sabi po nila, strafing incident po. Tama po ba yun?
Ganito, ma'am, no? Actually, inaalam pa rin natin yun. Sa ngayon kasi may na-recover, no na-process yung soko natin. May isang baril na kuha mismo sa biktima. Isang biktima na nakuha mismo, ito galing kay Paterno Baron, yung isang homemade na revolver, 38 revolver na nakuha. May isang fired cartridge at saka isang live ammunition ng 38 revolver. Maliban doon, may naka-recover din tayo. Galing din sa isang biktima, 3 live ammunition ng 12 gauge shotgun. So
kumbaga, sir, sinasabi niyo po ba na posibleng armado din ang mga biktima?
Actually, ma'am, sa base mismo sa na-recovered natin, merong armas, no? So, dinidetermine natin kung nakapaputok, kaya nga kinandakan ng soko natin na pinaparapin lahat, parapin test lahat yung including yung biktima at saka yung nakasurvive, nakasama din nila, para ma-determine natin kung sino at saka ilan yung nakapagsabayan ng putok.
So as of now, hindi pa po ma-determine kung massacre po ba, strafing, o actual na may firefight po?
May witness tayo, ma'am, nung una, prior sa, mismo sa residents na nandun. So yung unang putok, hindi volume of fire. May nagkasunod na putok na distance from the temporary shelter nila, ilan yung putok. So malamang yun ang in-anticipate, para gusto silang paalisin, no, sa isang area. So yun pang pina-find out natin kung bakit nagkaganon na nagputokan. Posible, no? Posible rin na meron din tayong anggulong tinitingnan na posible rin na nagpaputok din yung dito sa kabila. Kaya nag-resort dito sa palitan ng putok.
Okay, sir. As of now, ilan po ang suspects? Ilan po ang tinutugis?
Okay. Yung galing sa statement, no, yung nakasurvive, allegedly, yung kanina lang namin na-determine pala, yung dalawang nakasurvive actually, hindi pala nandun actually sa mismong temporary shelter. Sila ay nakatakbo na. Bago pumutok, nandun pala sila sa kabilang bahay, more or less mga 140 meters, wherein is not consistent with the first allegations na may 40
So,
fully armed men.
hindi po 40 armed men?
Hindi, ma'am.
Mga
Hindi,
ilan daw
mali
po?
yun, ma'am, no? So, based dito sa interview natin, no, ilan lang may more or less. Hindi kasi medyo madilim na rin. Pero yung dalawang nakasurvive talaga na galing mismo doon sa temporary shelter, yung unang minor na bata at saka yung kasunod na doon. So, nakita nila dalawa lang yung dumikit na mismo sa temporary shelter at saka may dalawa rin pumutok, more or less. Hindi nga mga 10 o 12 yung pinakamataas.
Okay po.
Katao.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you for talking to us. Sagay City Acting Chief of Police Robert Mansueto. Moving on to other stories, labor groups are demanding a 334 peso wage increase. They say the worsening inflation has made it more difficult for minimum wage earners to survive. Our correspondent Makoy Popioko tells us more.
Nino Garcia has been installing billboards for over 8 years already. He earns a minimum wage of 512 pesos per day, which he says is no longer enough to sustain the needs of his wife and 3 children.
Kung minsan, makijamin sa kasama kung may baon, pakingi, para makatipid lang. Siyempre, araw-araw, pamasahe, baon ng mga bata. Kaya ganun, pinakapos. Pagdating pa ng katapusan, yan, yung, bayaran ng ilaw tubig. Kaya wala na talaga mangyari.
Such is the economic divide many minimum wage workers have been complaining about. The prices of goods have incessantly soared through the years, but the basic pay of workers has failed to keep up. The Associated Labor Unions Trade Union Congress of the Philippines is pushing for a 334 peso minimum wage increase for Metro Manila workers. If the proposal gets approved, Metro Manila workers' basic pay would be raised to 846 pesos per day by mid-November.
Kami po ay nag-file ng 320 pesos noong June. Subalit, kamakailan o kamakalawa, sinabi ho ng gobyerno mismo na ang ating inflation rate ay pumalo na ng 6.2%. Gusto ho naming i-anunsyo na papalitan o re-revise ho namin yung 320. Papalitan ho namin at gagawin namin 334 pesos.
On Monday, the group will attend the public hearing of the National Capital Region Wage Board to defend its proposal. It is also working on wage hike petitions for workers in other regions.
We will insist on our wage petition kung magkano yung 334. But alam naman natin, historically, hindi naman nasusunod yun eh. Hindi naman ibibigay ng buo. Pero we will constantly monitor.
The group spokesperson Alan Tanhusay also belies some claims that small and micro enterprises will suffer with the wage increase as existing laws protect those with less than 10 employees. They can file for exemption from the mandated basic pay. Garcia is hopeful the proposal gets approved. He says it's a much-needed relief for poor workers who he believes suffer the most in the country's worsening socio-economic condition.
Mas tataas pa sa 300 yung dadagdag nila, mas maganda.
Makoy Popioko, CNN Philippines.
When the newsroom returns after weeks of denial, Saudi Arabia admits journalist Jamal Khashoggi was killed inside their consulate in Istanbul and some Saudi officials were involved. We'll be back after a quick break. Stay with us. Evening to our viewers on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us this Sunday evening. We were following up on the police investigation into that shooting incident kung saan po namatay ang nine farmers doon sa isang hacienda sa Negros Occidental. Sabi po, posibleng land dispute po ang pinagmulan po noong pangyayari doon. So kausap natin yung acting chief of police doon sa Sagay City. Sabi niya, may mga suspects na sila. Tapos, yung initial reports po na mga 40 armed men yung involved doon, hindi po totoo. Apparently, about more or less 10 people ang involved doon sa bloody incident dyan sa Sagay City and Negros Occidental, sa Hacienda Nene. Nakikipag-ugnay naman po ang landowners doon sa pulis para sa investigasyon at doon sa posibleng tulong sa mga biktima, mga sugar workers ito doon sa hacienda. Sinasabi, posibleng land dispute nga at posibleng mga former farmers or former workers doon sa plantation na yon, ang sabi nung acting chief of police sa atin. Posibleng sila ang involved doon sa nangyaring bloody incident, yung shooting nga po doon sa plantation, sa Hacienda Nene. Coming up next, marami pa pong storya. We have the latest. Okay, may balita po sa rollback. Oil price rollback, pangalawa na po for a second straight week. And the latest on Saudi Arabia's admission doon sa death ng isang journalist, Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Pinag-uusapan po ito the past week. Dahil nangyari, namatay po si Khashoggi doon, apparently sa Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. I hope you stay with us until the end of the show, until 6:30 p.m. Hello kay Ems, Hart, Vartsky, Rabang, and June. Sir June, nanonood si Sir June Tariman. Also, Jurim Arona, Larry Calderon from Singapore, Christian Marfil from Japan. Marlon Pelaez Peña from Brunei. Thanks. This is the newsroom on CNN Philippines. Welcome back. Good news for motorists. There's a big-time rollback in pump prices. Beginning tomorrow, Petron and Flying V are slashing gasoline prices by 1 peso and 85 centavos per liter. Diesel and kerosene prices will also go down by 90 centavos. The same rollback taking effect for gasoline and diesel prices of PTT Philippines. Meantime, a 2 peso rollback in gas prices was implemented this weekend by Sea Oil, Uni Oil, Phoenix Petroleum, Metro Oil, and Petrogas. This is the second consecutive week of price cuts after 9 straight weeks of increases. News overseas, Saudi Arabia is now admitting that some of its high-ranking officials were involved in the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. This is a startling about-face after 18 days in which the kingdom denied that any harm had come to Khashoggi at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. Today, Saudi state TV reported that Khashoggi died after a fight inside the consulate. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman fired his closest aides and 3 other high-ranking officials. But Turkish officials are not satisfied with the Saudi explanation and vow not to allow a cover-up of Khashoggi's death. The journalist, who was critical of the Saudi regime, entered the Saudi consulate on October 2 and never came back out. He was reportedly tortured to death and dismembered. Still ahead, some groups want the United Nations to investigate the military for its alleged illegal arrests. This is Newsroom Weekend on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned. To our viewers on Facebook Live, thank you for joining us. We have 3 minutes into this gap. We have a report by Zian Arcangel coming up next. Doon po sa appeal ng human rights group Karapatan to step in already to investigate the armed forces of the Philippines. Apparently for its alleged illegal arrests. Yun po ang sinasabi ng group na Karapatan. We will learn more from the report of Zian Arcangel coming up next. Gusto nila na yung UNHCR and other international organizations to investigate the military. Also, I think we're going to report on the preparations of the MMDA para sa UNDAS 2018. Sa All Saints Day holiday po, meron na silang mga paghahandang ginagawa. Also, an update on the UAAP Men's Basketball Tournament. The game between the NU Bulldogs and the UST Growling Tigers. And also the next game will be UP against UE. Oh, no more UAAP kasi ako baka mag-overtime tayo. UP Fighting Maroons and the UE Red Warriors battling it out as of the moment. Nasa fourth quarter na yata. Lamang ang UP. Okay, go Maroons. I hope you have time for greetings. Hello kay Randy Feliciano, kay Noel Habil from Australia, PB Jerry Palado Ravis, Rayleigh from Singapore, Hamik Akon from Sydney, Mirna Schultz watching us from Germany, okay, nabati ko na si Marlon. Oh no, wala nang showbiz stories. Sayang, wala nang time for entertainment news, guys. Meron pa naman tayo dapat na yung preview ni Sam Sadwani doon sa mga now showing in cinemas. Meron dyan yung First Man, the biopic on Neil Armstrong, and also a movie called First Love and Airstrike. Okay. The newsroom's back with more stories. Human rights group Karapatan calls for an investigation into alleged illegal arrests by the military. The group specifically wants the United Nations Human Rights Council and other international organizations to step in. Our Zian Arcangel reports.
Human rights group Karapatan wants the United Nations Human Rights Council and other international bodies to investigate the alleged illegal arrests conducted by the military under the administration. Karapatan Secretary General Cristina Palabay says arrests of activists are becoming more frequent after the military floated the supposed destabilization plot against the government, codenamed Red October. Last week, 9 suspected New People's Army members were arrested in Nueva Ecija and Laguna for alleged illegal possession of firearms. Palabay, however, denies they have ties to communists. She says they are only peasant advocates and were unarmed.
Kung pag-uusapan yung karapatang pantao, estado ng karapatang pantao dito sa Pilipinas, tingin namin nasa emergency situation na tayo. Kinakailangan magbigay daan sa isang Commission on Inquiry ng United Nations Human Rights Council para tignan itong lahat ng kasong ito.
Palabay claims the military planted the weapons seized from the suspected NPA rebels to justify their arrests. But Armed Forces spokesperson Brigadier General Edgard Arevalo insists what they conducted were legitimate law enforcement operations.
These are all valid and legal conduct of operations. Yung mga Amazona, they were caught red-handed in illegal possession of firearms and explosives. Yung dito naman sa Santa Cruz, Laguna, ganun din. illegal possession of firearms, ammunition, and explosive.
Arevalo says the arrests prove the Red October plot is a serious threat, despite criticism from some politicians that it wasn't based on credible intelligence information.
I think it should be taken to the credit of the armed forces na ito ay na-reveal natin in due time, and because of that, hindi ito nangyari.
Arevalo urges suspected rebels to face charges against them in court rather than accuse the military of violating human rights for doing its job. Cian Arcangel, CNN, Philippines.
That's what's happening in the newsroom this Sunday, October 21. I'm Maya Rodriguez. Stay with CNN Philippines, where we tell the story of the Filipino. Good night.